Live from Capitol Hill, it's the 2005 TFL Draft Lottery. You know, we try to do something different every year, come up with something new, something that you might find surprising. I mean, the gerbils last year, that was classic. I just wish we didn't have the problem with the video feed, because you should have been there live at RFK when the gerbils were racing. It was amazing to see, and I'm sorry the video turned out not to get work too well. That's Scott Lacey's fault. He's in charge of the video. Anyways, this year, we're going to try something new. Now, as most of you probably know, I've had a few bad years in a row. The Mighty Mighty test tubes have had very disappointing seasons. I have learned that there is so much more involved than skill. Luck controls this league. And that's the only thing that can explain how the greatest fantasy football mind in the galaxy could go 1-13 last year. I'm going to tear up right now. It's just too sad to think of. So since this thing's all about luck, it got me thinking, well, what is luck? Cards are luck. You're either lucky in love or lucky in cards, right? Well, I'm not very lucky in cards, but we're not going to talk about my love life either. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a card game to decide the 2005 draft order for the TFL convention. We're going to have 32 cards here. 16 of them have the pictures and the names of the teams. There are 3 action cards. Let me explain the actions to you now so they don't come as a surprise. This first one has a big X on it. We either say last or next underneath it. What it means is that the previous team that was on the board has to go back into the deck. So that means that if you see this card and it says last card picked, that means that goes back in the deck. If it says next, that means the next team that comes out, they go back in the deck. This is the switch card. It means that we're going to have teams switching positions. So if you're team number 4, you have the 4 pick, you're going to move over to the number 12 pick. So this means that there's going to be constantly changing. When you see your team come up on the board, that doesn't mean that's where they're going to end up. They could be switched. The final one is the 2 card. It means you're going to move back 2 positions or move ahead 2 positions. So the last card, the last team that was displayed, they will either move back 2 or ahead 2, depending on, wherever they were. And the teams that are in their way will have to move to adjust. So if they're behind, they'll move up 2 positions. If they're ahead, they move back 2 positions. So those are the 3 special action cards. Here's the deck of cards. We're going to go ahead and shuffle them up, and then Scott's going to go ahead and cut them, and then we're going to have our draft lottery. We think this is a little strange and a little crazy. You know that you're probably going, what in the hell are they doing now? But we're not worried about it because it's our little game, and if you don't like it, we'll do your own damn draft lottery and free me of this burden. So I've just shuffled the cards. Scott, if you'll be so happy as to cut them. And now we have our deck of cards. We're going to go ahead and put them on the grid. You see the positions for each team. As usual, we'll start from the back end and work our way forward. So first, card. Doesn't mean this is the 16th position. It means it's the 16th position for now. The first card is the Dutch Harbor Dogs. So Casey Brogan's team is currently in the number 16 hole. We'll see if that's where they end up. The next card is a switch between the 2 and the 13 teams. As you can see, there's nobody in number 2, there's nobody in number 13, so this card goes to the discard pile and it has no action. Next card, 2 back. Last team drawn, Casey Brogan, has to move back 2. Well, can't move any further back. So that one's also wasted. We're not going to do that card either. Now, next card, 2 ahead. So, patience is a virtue for Casey. He moves ahead 2 spots to the number 14 spot. Next card, hey, finally a team. The Arctic Gators. The Arctic Mark Dillon's team will now have the number 16 spot. Doesn't mean that's where they'll end up, though. Next one, the Baltimore Barons. Currently in the number 15 spot. We'll see if that's where they stay. Next one, Anchorage Kitchen. They get the number 13 spot for now. Next one, the East Hartford Escanos. Put in the number 12 hole.
Hello, commentary.
This is just a start. Things are going to change. I can't comment on what everybody's going to do because who knows? One of these people could still end up with the number 1 pick. Don't give up yet.
Usually you diss the teams to go to the cards. Diss the owners.
When you're 1 and 13, you don't diss anybody, okay? Next one, the Hogtown Halibut. About damn time he drafted in the second half of the draft. I'm sick and tired of him drafting top 3 every year. But he may end up still there, number 1 anyway, so who knows. Next up, the Flint Bison. We've got a bunch in a row of teams, which means we're probably going to pay for it later. So we're almost done with the first half of the lottery, except that things will change. We have a switch. Number 6 and 7 switch positions. As you can see, there's no one in number 6, no one in number 7, so that card's a waste. Next one up, Limerick. Again, in the middle of the draft. Those Limerick Laughing Loons, always in the middle. Next one up, 2 back. So that means Limerick has to move back 2. Well, they're not so much in the middle anymore. So Flint gets to move up 1, Hogtown gets to move up 1, Limerick takes over the number 11 spot. Next card, Willow. The Weasels currently in the number 8 spot. We'll see if that's where they finish. Next up, Lackawanna. Put them in the number 7 hole for now. I don't like this, guys. I want a number 1 draft pick. And the way this game's going, somebody's going to switch, and it's probably going to be me to number 16. Next up, Dugway. Put Dugway in the number 6 hole. Let's see if they can stay there. Next up, 2 ahead. So Dugway, being the last team drawn, moves up 2 spots to the number 4 hole. I like that. I didn't plan it that way, but that's the way I like it right now. Next card is X, which means the next card pulled for a team, they go back in the pile, which gives them a better chance at the number 1 spot. So let's see who that is. Alaska. So Alaska gets to go back in the pile, and I'm going to do a quick little shuffling job now because we put a team in there. I don't want everybody to think I was playing favorites. So that's that. Now we're okay. Next card up. Last card, which was Alaska, we go back in the pile. I can put myself there, but I'll get the number 1 to get chose too, so we're going to leave like that. Next card, switch, 1 and 10. Hogtown gets the number 1 pick for now. And then when we get to the position where number 1 was, they will now be at the number 10 spot. So even though we don't know who number 1 is yet, they're going to end up with number 10 unless something else changes. Next card. The next card goes back in the deck again. That's Alaska. I'm sorry, Charles. The fates just don't want you on the board. I don't know what that means. So let's put you back in the deck and we will reshuffle them again. Running out of cards to shuffle. So let's try one more time. There's not that many cards to shuffle. How do you shuffle like 6 cards? All right, let's try again. Switch 9 and 15. This is the last Flint in the 9 hole. They move over and take the number 15 spot, which is the Barons. And the Barons get to move up to number 9. So that's how that switch worked. Next card, Alaska, finally. And you get to stay on the board for now. If the next one's an X though and says last, you're in trouble, Charles. Next one, Baghdad Red Belly Newts in the number 5 hole. Scott usually doesn't like the draft early because he's never had a good number 1 pick. All of his first round picks have sucked. But then Michael Bork goes and gives him a Jeff Garcia for a head cold, so what does it matter? Number 3 pick we still need. Last card back in the deck. Ooh, Scotty Baby gets a chance for the number 1 pick. Gets to waste a number 1 pick on a really good player who will no doubt have a season-ending injury. All right, I'll try to shuffle, but I'm running out of cards. Next card, Denver Pals. They're the new number 5. You can thank Scotty Baby for that one, Mike. Next up, 5 and 11, switch positions. So, We have number 5 team, Denver Piles, moving back to number 11. And Limerick, which I believe this is their second time they've been moved around, moves up to the number 5 spot. So here I am bemoaning the fact they're always in the middle. They got moved back to the back half of the draft. Now they're up front. That's what kind of game this is. Next up, 8 and 16 change positions. Number 8 is Willow. So Willow will be moving down 1 row. And Arctic, which was in the number 16 hole, moves up. So we now have a major change of positions there. Our next card, 4 and 12, switch positions. Oh, shoot me now. I don't believe it. Dugway, which has not been in the front half of the draft for years, and especially during this losing spell, now moves back to the back half of the draft, and the East Hartford ex-Eskimos move up. Lucky in love. We still have more cards to go. Number 3 card, the Nose Apes. The Nose Apes, so they will be in the number 3 hole. Number 2 card, 3 and 14 switch position. So, Nose Apes just in number 3, move back to number 14, and Casey and his Dutch Habitats move up to number 3. Penobscot gets the number 2 pick for now. And then what would have been the number 1 pick, but because of the earlier switch between 10 and 1, is now the number 10 pick, is the Baghdad Red Belly News, which is what I think Scott wanted. So somehow things worked out for him. So here you have it. The order of the 2005 draft. Number 1, Hogtown Halibut. Did he have that last year?
I don't know.
Oh my God, he's in the top 3 every fucking year. Number 2, Penobscot, who I think was also up there last year. Number 3, Dutch Habitats. Number 4, East Hartford ex-Eskimos. Number 5, Limerick Laughing Loons. Number 6, Alaska Usiks. Number 7, the Lackawanna Lancers. Number 8, Arctic Gators. Number 9, Baltimore Barons. Number 10, the Baghdad Red-Bellied Newts. The number 11 pick goes to the Denver Piles. The number 12 pick goes to those mighty, mighty test tubes. Number 13 pick goes to the Anchorage Kitchen. Number 14, Narcoossee Nose Apes. Number 15, Flint Bison. And the last pick of the TFL draft this year goes to the Willow Weasels. I hope you enjoyed the card game. It turned out really shitty for me, so I'm sure you're all happy. But this is how we decided to do it. I'll live with the results. Hope to see everyone in Cleveland for the 2005 convention. Thank you.